Snow Letter's Eye, The Canvas of Silence, Siberia, 1882. The remote Siberian village of Nikolayevka in 1882 was a study in white and blue. Life was dictated by the unrelenting cold and the profound, isolating silence that fell like a blanket over the land. Irina was the village's only teacher, a young woman sent from Moscow who carried a heart full of literature and a deep sense of solitude. Her classroom was the only place of warmth, but her true solace was found on the vast, pristine snowfields surrounding the village. Every evening, bundled in thick furs, she would take her solitary walk. As she walked, she used her long, sturdy birch walking stick as a pen. She didn't draw pictures. She wrote poetry. Great. Looping Cyrillic verses dug deep into the crisp, icy surface. Her poems were private confessions, meant for the rising moon and the inevitable drift of the next snowfall. She wrote about the heavy quiet, the memory of green summer, and the philosophical absurdity of existence in a land where beauty was so often frozen. She left them like fleeting white ghosts on the frozen landscape. Nikolai was the village postmaster. His life was built on permanence, sorting and delivering the infrequent vital written connections to the outside world. He lived in the knowledge that words, once fixed to paper, transcended distance and time. He first noticed the writings while following the weekly supply sled track. The words were too complex, too passionate to be simple graffiti. He realized someone was writing a lyrical diary in a script that would dissolve by morning. He became obsessed. Every evening, he would walk to the spot where he had seen the last stanza, often beating the next snowfall by mere hours. 2. The silent correspondence. Nikolai realized that merely reading her poems was not enough. The words demanded a response, but he understood the sacred nature of her ritual. This was not meant to be a conversation. The next day, he brought his own, shorter walking stick. He waited until Irina's evening walk was long over and the lights in her small cottage had been extinguished. He found her latest stanza, a beautiful, melancholy reflection on the fading daylight, and began his reply 10 feet away. He never corrected her meter or altered her theme. He simply offered his perspective. If she wrote of the pain of silence, he wrote of the peace found within it. If she questioned the meaning of a frozen star, he replied with a description of its ancient, fiery warmth. Their communication was born. It became a daily, unspoken vow. They would not meet, and they would not use paper. Their correspondence existed only on the vast, shared canvas of the snow, a beautiful testament to the transient nature of their current existence. Irina would read Nikolai's reply in the morning before the children arrived, her heart racing at the discovery. Nikolai would watch from his post office window, waiting to see her figure emerge, trace his words, and then move on to create her next inspired question. They learned everything about each other: her love of Pushkin, his devotion to the folktales of his grandmother, her impatience, his quiet faith. They built a relationship entirely on the essence of their minds, stripped bare of physical distraction or social constraints. 3rd, the end of winter. The spring of 1883 arrived with a sudden, dramatic violence. It began with the whisper of warm air, followed by a week of relentless, heavy rain. The sound of the melt was a loud, rushing orchestra, a roar of released water that had been trapped for 6 months. Irina woke one morning to find the world dissolving. The snow was turning to gray slush, the packed drifts softening into liquid mud. She rushed out to their usual spot. Their last conversation, a beautiful, lengthy dialogue about the promise of the coming spring, was already ruined. The letters were bloated, the lines blurred, the careful curves of the script merging into illegible, watery wounds. The beautiful temporary world they had built was collapsing. Irina stood there, watching the snow absorb the words, a deep sense of loss washing over her. She knew their correspondence was over. The physical world had finally interfered, demanding they either disappear back into the silence or find a new, real form of communication. She turned, walking slowly back to the village, her heart heavy with the fear that their shared reality had been nothing more than an elegant dream melting in the sun. That afternoon, a sound broke the silence that was not the rush of the thaw. It was a firm, deliberate knock on her cottage door. Irina opened it. Standing on her porch, dressed in his heavy woolen postmaster's uniform, was Nikolai. He was taller than she had imagined, his face kind, etched with the sincerity she knew from his writing. He was holding a large, carefully tied stack of white paper, nearly a foot thick. "The snow is gone," he said, his voice deep and warm, a perfect match for the man she knew through his words. He lifted the bundle slightly. "I came to return your poetry." Irina's breath caught. "I don't understand." "The words?" Nikolai stepped across the threshold, allowing the rain-washed light to fall upon them. He showed her the top sheet. It was her first poem, meticulously copied in his neat, educated hand. "Every night after I left my reply," he explained, his eyes fixed on hers, "I returned with my own paper and pen. I transcribed every single word, yours and mine. I did not want to lose a single thought of our winter." He handed her the precious, heavy stack. It was the complete record of their courtship, a manuscript of their hearts. "The medium was temporary," he said, his voice quiet with conviction, echoing the certainty of his life's work. But the message was not. The snow melts, but words stay. They never needed the walking sticks again. That spring, they spent their time reading their shared history aloud to each other, their voices replacing the silence, their future built on the permanent, tangible evidence of a love first written in the white silence of a Siberian